Hello and welcome to episode 3 of TubeMix's album reviews with me, your host, TubeMix. And sorry for the delay, but better late than never. And today we're going to be reviewing Minnie Ripperton's Love Lives Forever. Now, it's an album made in very sad and strange circumstances. By the time Minnie recorded her vocal tracks, she knew she didn't have much time left, and her illness was terminal. So I imagine she would have treated every recording session as if it was her last. Minnie recorded the tracks in 1978, the vocal tracks. And then the people who, as you will hear, have duetted on this album recorded their tracks in 1980, and the album was released that year. It was produced by her husband Richard Rudolph, who, despite being a musician, does not play on the album, but is produced by him and Quincy Jones as well, the great Quincy Jones. And he said it's like keeping the bridge but moving the water. What he means by that is basically they removed all the instruments from Minnie's original vocal tracks and got musicians to re-record the tracks, and got some other people in, Minnie's admirers, I mean some great names on here, to add additional vocals and to duet with her. So I hope you enjoy it, and all that's left is to say is run the titles. So the first track is Here We Go, featuring Peabo Bryson, and it's very Barry White, I thought, listening to the track. Yeah, it reminded me heavily of Barry White and something that would really suit him. I don't know whether just the complete sound and the orchestra and the strings, obviously, associated with Barry White, of course, because of the Love Unlimited Orchestra. It's a lovely track. I really liked it, and I thought I would, because obviously I do like Minnie Ripperton's voice. Her whistle register can get a bit much at times, but her actual voice is mainly a soft voice. So I thought I was going to like this, and I did. It's got saxophone solo from Tom Scott. Now, if you don't know who Tom Scott is, he performed with the Blues Brothers. He's been on the Toy Story 2 and Monsters, Inc. soundtracks, both with Randy Newman. He's performed with George Benson, Wings, and Paul McCartney. He's performed with loads of people. Oh, and not to mention on Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. And Michael Jackson also, as we will hear, will be on the next track 2. But back to this track, and I really, really love it. Peabo Bryson. His voice is just so wonderful, so relaxing, so smooth. It also features additional vocals from someone that he knows very well, Roberta Flack. And of course, as we know, 3 years later, Peabo and Roberta would score themselves a hit with their hits Tonight I Celebrate My Love, which is another fantastic song, one that would introduce Peabo to us here in the UK. It's a lovely track, and lovely saxophone solo from Tom Scott. Peabo Bryson's vocals fit very well into this track, and yes, it's a wonderful track. Nothing negative to say about this. And yeah, let's move to track 2. So, track 2 is I'm in Love Again, featuring Michael Jackson and Herbert Laws with a flute solo. It's more of a jazz, so unlike the first track, which is sort of soul R&B, this is a very jazz inspired track, particularly with the flute. I don't think Michael Jackson suits it. I just thought that because it's quite jazz-like, it doesn't suit him at all, and I think it was a mistake putting him personally on the track, and also there's not really much vocals from him. It's sort of like, well, I wouldn't call him a backing vocalist, but I wouldn't call it a proper duet. It's something in the middle, probably hence why he's credited as additional vocals. Yeah, I think I would have rather it without Michael Jackson, because he doesn't really add anything and he's not really much there, and when he is there, he just doesn't fit into the track at all, which is a shame. But I really like it, because I do like my jazz, and it's the kind of jazz I like. And Herbert Laws, I do like a flute, and I do like his flute solo. But yeah, I think the track could have really done without Michael Jackson personally. But I really appreciate that, Minnie's husband and Quincy Jones and all the team on this album, you can get a sense that it was made with a lot of love. They wanted to have something in memory of Minnie, and also, people who had worked with her and admire her. So they all wanted to do their best. But I think this particular track doesn't really work for me, or would work without the King of Pop. Anyway, right, let's move on to track 3 next. So, track 3 is a song called Strange Affair, and I really liked this track. This is probably my favourite track of the album, one of them. And it's a really sort of disco song. It's a very upbeat song, It's not gentle like Here We Go, or what is arguably her famous song that isn't on this album, obviously, but Loving You. Yeah, it's a really funky song. I really like it. Michael Bodicker, or Bodicker, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, is a great name, by the way, is on the synthesizer. And yeah, I really liked it. The backing vocals are good. One thing that it did slightly annoy me a bit, one thing I like, because, as I said, I don't mind Minnie, singing in the whistle register. No, what I mean by the whistle register is, if you think of Loving You, which is probably the most famous, she sings that, or think of Mariah Carey on Dream Lover. It's a very high note, hence why it's called the whistle register. Yes, so, but this, she does go a bit loud for me. It's not the gentle, soft voice. So that did slightly annoy me, because I don't really like loud singers. It's kind of complicated, but to me it always seems like some of them just are shouting in your ear. I don't like that sensation, particularly from some people's voices, and she does stray very close to that. But nevertheless, it is a really good track, really funky track, and I really, really like it. Right, let's move on to track 4 next. So track 4 or track 1 on side 2 is called Island in the Sun, and I really liked this track, again featuring Tom Scott on the saxophone, which is just wonderful. It's a very relaxing track. Well, it's a perfect summer track, I think. You know, if you're going on holiday or you just want a perfect song for your summer playlist, I would recommend this one, because just a really fantastic track. You know, Tom Scott again, you know, on the saxophone just suits it really well, and it's very well placed. And yeah, Minnie's voice is, you know, back to the gentle sort of calmness side, which I do like about her voice. Then the voice of, say, on a hit Le Fleur or on Strange Affair, the track which I just reviewed. And yeah, it's a really good song. It's I think it's very memorable as well. It must be very hard to when you write a song, you know, for it to be, you know, memorable, but you wouldn't forget this track at all, because I think the chorus is very memorable. It's very strong, and it's a great track. I think I'll be coming back to listen to this track again, because I just think it's fantastic. Okay, let's move on to the next track. So the next track is called Give Me Time, featuring Stevie Wonder on harmonica, and I think this track probably would have resonated well with Minnie, because, you know, it's all about wanting to have more time, and you don't have, you know, much time left. And I think with her knowing that, you know, her illness was terminal and that she didn't have much time left, I imagine this would have really related to her, and probably for her, given her a stronger performance of it had she not been ill. Stevie Wonder, for me, well, I'm sorry to say, ruins it. I don't like his harmonica solo on this at all. It's not a good fit. In fact, it's horrible. I really think it's really horrible. And you know, I get why getting involved in the album, you know, it was him who inspired the album's title, and, you know, was good friends with Minnie. But for me, he's a horrible fit on this. But that's, you know, that's a shame, because I love Stevie Wonder. You know, I think he's just so fantastic. You know, he could play so many different instruments, has a wonderful voice, he's an absolute legend, but he just is the wrong fit for this, and his contribution, unfortunately, is horrible, revolting, which is a shame. And Jerry Vinci, I think his name is, contributes a violin solo as well on this, and don't mind him. His violin solo is good, although it's very short. It's not too long. But yeah, I really wish they wouldn't have had Stevie Wonder on this, or if they would have him on vocals, because his voice is just fantastic. And I do think also, if you're just going to have Stevie Wonder on harmonica, at the end of the day, would you not say he's another session musician? You know, I think if you're going to get him doing anything, you know, yes, get him on the harmonica if you must, but get him on vocals, you know, because why waste such a great voice? But yes, that's a shame, really. But yeah, you can't like everything, and yeah, let's move to the next track. So the next track is called You Take My Breath Away, a duet with George Benson, and it's a really good choice for this album, and George is a really good fit, not only because Minnie knew him and they toured together and sung together, and of course in the 70s had hits such as Greatest Love of All and Love Ballad, and later in 1980, he would release the album Gimme the Night, which of course featured the singles, the title track, and Love Times Love, both hits for him. So he was a really good fit for this, and he fits this track perfectly. I like a lot of those R&B singers, you know, like Alexander O'Neill, Luther Vandross, James Ingram, Gregory Abbott, Jeffrey Osborne, Peebo Bryson. You know, I like Donny Hathaway. I like loads of those singers, and yes, and George's voice is just smooth and it's just fantastic for this track. One small criticism, I would have liked to have a guitar solo from him, because he's a brilliant guitarist as well as singer. You know, Gimme the Night, you know, the guitar playing on that is brilliant. And Frank Sinatra's LA Is My Lady, he's on guitar on that as well, and just a fantastic guitarist. And but that's only one small thing. Apart from that, the track is brilliant, and I'll be coming back to it again and again and again, as will the rest of this album, I'm sure. Right, time to move on to the final track. So the final track is called The Song of Life, La La La, and it's with Patrice Rushen. Patrice is best known for a hit, Forget Me Nots, released in 1982, which is a disco classic, isn't it? Sampled by Will Smith on the Men in Black theme song. But yes, back to this track, and it's really memorable. It's got a chorus that, it'll soon get in your head. It's fun as well. It's a lovely way to close the album, because it's a lovely, fun track. And Patrice, as well as contributing vocals, contributes electric piano as well. So yes, lovely track, fun track, but definitely a track I'll be coming back to again, and as is the rest of the album. And yes, just a fantastic track, and that's it for the album. So thank you for watching, guys. Apologies, it's been a bit later than planned, but nevertheless, I've still got the video up, and better late than never, again, as they say. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's obviously a very interesting and a bit of a weird album to do, but I thought, well, you know, it's an interesting album. The people that are on it, the circumstances it was made, I thought it would be. And it's an album I hadn't listened to, so it was a completely new one for me, unlike, obviously, the previous two from Bob the Builder and Michael Bublé. So each artist was basically had a quote about Minnie, which I thought was really nice, and their signature. And I thought I'll leave you with this quote, which inspired the album title from Stevie Wonder. It says, by the way, his signature was a thumbprint, and I'm not sure about the others, because that's the only one I've been able to find. So his quote says, worthy of a lyric this, "I miss you because I cannot touch you, but then again I guess that I can because you're touching me. So love lives forever." Isn't that lovely? I think that's worthy of a lyric itself, and it could be worthy of a song. And in a way, that's the beauty of being a musician. Minnie does get to live forever through her music. And of course, as with every musician that we've lost, you know, we thank them for giving us this gift of, their music that we can listen to again and again and again. So thank you, Minnie. And yes, thank you for giving us this album. And just thank you. It's just fantastic. And yes, rest in peace. We'll never forget you. Our love lives forever to you. Right, thank you for watching. If you liked this, like, share, put my teeth back in. Feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the TubeMix YouTube channel. And I'll see you next time for episode. Episode 4, I think it is. Yeah, I'm losing track. Yes, because episode 1 was the Michael Bublé, episode 2 Bob the Builder, episode 3 Minnie Ripperton. It'll be episode 4. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.